Think about the last thing you bought. Seriously, anything. A coffee, a car, something online. Behind that simple transaction, there's this invisible engine running the entire show. Well, that engine is information technology, and it powers pretty much every single modern business. So in the next few minutes, we're going to build that engine from the ground up, piece by piece.
So let's start with the big question. What truly powers a modern business? You might say, well, it's the people, or the great product, or the brand. And look, you're not wrong, but underneath all of that, supporting every single part, is this hidden nervous system, the technology that makes it all possible. Let's start piecing together what that system actually looks like.
And it's just incredible how far we've come, right? I mean, back in the 1920s, processing business data meant these clunky, mechanical calculators. Then, by the 40s, we got the first programmable digital computers, a massive, massive leap. And now we're dealing with these globally connected IT systems that would have been pure science fiction just a few decades ago.
Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, we start with the physical stuff. The absolute foundation of any IT system is the hardware. Just think of this as the body, the tangible components you can actually see and touch.
Because at its core, every single business has to do three things with information. You've got to capture it from the real world, you have to store it somewhere safe, and then you need to process it into something useful. Solving this very physical challenge, that's the entire point of hardware.
And this whole process follows a really logical cycle. Think of it like baking a cake. First, you get your ingredients together. That's your input. Then you mix them up and bake them. That's the processing. You might save a slice for later. That's storage. And finally, you serve the beautiful finished cake, and that is the output. Every single piece of hardware we use fits into one of these four essential steps.
The input devices are kind of like the system's senses. The keyboard a cashier uses to type in an order, or the barcode scanner at a warehouse. They bring the outside world in. On the flip side, the output devices are its voice, the monitor that shows you your sales data, or the printer that spits out a physical invoice. These are the tools that bridge the digital world with our physical one.
Now, this slide shows a really critical business trade-off. See, old magnetic tape was cheap and held tons of data, but finding one customer's record was like trying to find a song by fast-forwarding a cassette tape. It was so slow and sequential. Modern solid-state drives, on the other hand, give you instant access. So what's the takeaway? A simple hardware choice can mean the difference between a customer waiting 30 seconds versus half a second. That choice directly impacts their experience and your bottom line.
Okay, so we've got the physical body, the hardware. But a body without a brain can't really do much of anything. That's where software comes in. It's the intelligence, the set of instructions that tells all that powerful hardware what in the world to do.
And this is the next huge business problem you have to solve. You can have the fastest processor in the world and tons of storage, but without software, it's just a really expensive paperweight. So how do you turn that raw power into a tool that can actually write a report, calculate a budget, or manage your inventory? Well, the answer starts with the single most important piece of software on any computer, the operating system, or the OS. The best way to think about it is as the system's general manager. It's the boss that oversees everything else to make sure the entire operation is running smoothly. And let me tell you, that general manager has a ton of responsibilities. It's constantly juggling multiple tasks, making sure you can have your email, a spreadsheet, and a web browser all open without everything just crashing. It manages memory, decides where files get stored, it controls the printer and the keyboard, and it provides a crucial layer of security. Honestly, without the OS, it's just chaos.
So if the OS is the general manager running the whole factory, then application software, well, those are the specialized tools on the assembly line. These are the programs you actually use every day: word processors, spreadsheets, inventory systems, the tools that get the day-to-day work done.
All right, so we have the body, which is the hardware, and we have the brains, the software. But in today's world, a computer all by itself isn't enough, is it? The final and absolutely critical piece is the connection, linking all these systems together and to the outside world through networking and the internet.
And this piece solves one of the biggest problems in the history of business: distance. How do you possibly sell your product to someone on the other side of the planet? How can you collaborate with a team that's in another city? How do you get instant information from literally anywhere in the world?
See, the internet isn't just one tool. It's an entire toolkit. It gives a small local business a global storefront through e-commerce. It lets teams on different continents work together in real time. To put it simply, It didn't just change business, it completely redefined the boundaries of what a business could even be.
And this impact goes way, way beyond just selling products. This level of connectivity is so fundamental now that it's actually used to help run our society, allowing government agencies to share data and deliver services more effectively. That's just how essential this connection piece has become. So, let's bring it all home. We've looked at the hardware, the software, and the network. And the key thing to remember is that these aren't separate things. They are three pillars of a single, indispensable system that modern businesses are literally built on.
It really all boils down to this simple equation. You've got the physical tools, plus the intelligence to guide them, plus the network connecting them to the entire world. That is the formula for a modern business. And if you try to remove any single one of those pieces, the whole thing just falls apart.
Information technology is without a single doubt the engine of today. It has completely defined the last half-century of business and innovation, which it leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about. What comes next? What's going to be the engine of tomorrow?